Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be talking about some tips that I wrote down here on making an activation successful. But before we get into that, if you could like, subscribe, and ring the bell down there, as the Smoking Ape says, it'll make you happy. So, tip number one, it's your activation. Yeah, I'm pointing at you because it's your activation. You do your activation how you feel that your activation should go. If you want to do multiple bands, say a whole gambit, you want to do 80 meters through 10 meters, hey, you go ahead and do that. If you want to run QRP is low power, hey, you go ahead and do that. If you want to run 100 watts and a wire, hey, you go ahead and do that. Again, it's your activation and you do it how you want to do it. Don't let anybody tell you that you're doing it wrong just because you're not doing it the way that they would do it. Okay? Number two, you want to make sure that you have working gear. All right? Also, on top of that working gear, you want to make sure that you have the gear that is best for you. We get this question a lot in the amateur world, be it on different websites, Facebook, Slack, Discord, whatever it is what is the best gear for me to use to do a SOTA, a POTA, field day, anything of that sort? Well, the answer, in my opinion, and again, this is my opinion, is whatever gear gets you on the air. I personally like to use 100 watts. Most of the time. I've been using 50 watts here recently, but 100 watts is really my go-to. I use a few different antennas, and we'll talk about that a little later. The next thing that you need to worry about is your setup area. Setup areas are really going to depend on what park or SOTA or whatever it is that you're at. And I know there's been a few people that have talked about setup areas don't block the view. Like, if this was the actual view that we were talking about, you don't want to block this view for other people that are coming to the area to look at it. So you would want to set up over that way, set up over that way, set up that way. I don't know. Set up somewhere where you're not blocking the view. Also, you want to set up so that people aren't going to bump into your equipment while you're trying to operate. And we'll shoot out to the park here in a minute, and we'll show you about that. Use your resources. There's very many different resources that you can use whenever you're either planning or doing an activation. I'll help you determine where a park is actually located. Because if you look at the POTA map, there's little yellow dots all over the place. And those yellow dots aren't the only place that you can do the activation from. It's just a general reference of where the park is located, in a general aspect. Also, use spots. Make sure that you're spotting yourself, or even use the spots that are out there to be able to hunt and chase other activators, because you need either 4 in SOTA to get the points, QSOs or contacts, or 10 contacts in POTA, parks on the air. SOTA is summits on the air, if I didn't say that earlier, to get the points. So if you want to be able to get the awards and certificates and things of that sort, you need points. And to get those points, you got to do the things for the points, or to get the contacts for the points, I guess. Man. And we'll talk about that a little further in depth here in a little bit. We'll switch over to the computer screen. Be consistent. You need to be consistent in doing your activation. If you want to do a CQ call, write it down. Write down what it is that you want to say. CQ, parks on the air activation from Kilo Hotel 7 Foxtrot Charlie. Kilo Hotel 7 Foxtrot Charlie. From Kilo 7799 in Virginia. This is Kilo Hotel 7 Foxtrot Charlie. CQ, and listening. That's just an example. You don't have to do it that way, but that's usually about what I do. It's long and drawn out, so that if in the event that you can't use spots, or if there's just somebody that doesn't use spots and they're spinning that dial, hopefully they'll hear you and they'll be able to come back to you and get you that contact that you may be needing. Also, in my opinion, don't wait a whole lot of time between CQ calls to do CQ again. If your CQ call is, we'll call it 7-8 seconds long, wait, listen for 2-3 seconds, and then do your CQ again. Don't just sit there and hope that somebody possibly heard just a little bit of your CQ call. Because typically, as soon as you say and listening or standing by or whatever it is, the end of your CQ call, somebody's going to call you if they heard you. If they didn't hear you, they may just move on. Logging requirements. For SOTA, you have to have 4 unique call signs logged to be able to get the points. And what I mean by that is you can't do the same person on 4 different bands. It has to be 4 different people. And that's my understanding. And if I'm wrong, please, somebody use the comments down below and correct what I said. But from all the research that I've done, that's what I can notice. POTA, on the other hand, you can actually do a 10 contact activation with 2 people. And all you really have to do is make communications with 2 people on 10 different bands. So 2 meters, 70 centimeters, 10 meters, 6 meters. I went out of order. Oh, well, 12, 15, 17, 20, 30, 40, 80, 160, any of those bands, 10 contacts, 2 people, that's all it really matters. Now, you should still give opportunity for other people out there to make contact with you, but if, that's how you want to do your activation, is you go and you do VHF only, 2 meters, and you handy talk to 10 people that are in the park with you, hey, that's what you do. But you cannot use terrestrial repeaters, which that means repeaters on land. If you want to use satellites, you can use those, even though they're repeaters, but they're satellites, so they do count. You could use SSTV, like Adam K6ARK did the other day while he was up on a summit. So you can really do any mode that you want. You just got to make sure that you log it. And then, finally, again, it's your activation. You do your activation how you see fit, and you get it done and get the points and the awards that you're seeking. So, hey, just wanted to add that I said I would show you this here in a minute a couple of different times. I'm actually going to do a few different videos, so stick around. Hopefully you subscribe and you'll get to see those videos.